Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kim Barrett Show. I'm your host, Kim Barrett, and today we are back, episode 2, with Mr. Gulliver Giles. So if you're someone who wants to dive deep in sales, understand how to dominate in the world of sales, this is the episode for you, part 2. So if you haven't listened to part 1, go back last week, check it out, and we'll see you inside the episode. So tell us a little bit about sales dominance there, because we've mentioned a few times you guys have got something coming up pretty cool for those in Australia or those willing to commit and come over to Australia. Like, tell us a bit more about what you guys have got lined up.
Yeah, look, I mean, I feel like the sales dominance that people knew was one where we would, sit you down and give you some mindset breakthroughs on day one around sales and around why you're frightened of it and why you're not doing it, or what the bullshit story that you're telling yourself that's screwing you over is. And then day 2, we talk about technique and, how to use your sales approach to the best advantage, how to give customers greater insights, breakthroughs in a sense of, holy shit, this is incredibly valuable, I need to buy from this person. And then how to handle their objections in a systemic and strategic fashion, so that you can walk away with a really solid set of breakthroughs around what's going on in your head and how to be how to be able to step past your mindset issues, but also how to actually tangibly make offers and get paid, and how to handle your customers' biggest problems and objections that are getting in the way of them buying from you. So that's what we used to do, and it would culminate in like that there's 3 days would culminate in a live fire exercise at the end where we're literally walking the room, listening to you make calls, coaching you on what's going right and wrong. The process that you've been through, that all of your sales teams have been through, that your clients that you send to us have been through, that's created you hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars over the last 10 years. So that's what used to happen, but this one will be new. So there is a lot of, particularly in the last 3 years, what we've been doing is we've been looking at what's going on in the world, and we've noticed that a lot of really big companies don't have any idea how to recruit, manage, train, motivate their sales teams. So we've been doing a lot more work, going into $25 million companies and charging multiple 6 figures to go in and rework, change, manage, hire, fire, replace their teams. So we're also going to be working in a lot around, I think for your guys, maybe some of them, this will be useful for where to go next in their lives, and some of them more useful for where they are now. It's how to do what you've done, how to replace yourself, how to remove yourself from being the only person who can make that call and make that sale. Yeah. So we will be talking a little bit more about recruitment strategy, management strategy, mentoring strategy, how to get people on board, how to get people on mission, how to get people to actually, what metrics you need to be looking at to see if they're going to get success, and how to mentor them more effectively. And that's what we will be doing, combined with all the stuff that we used to do. So of course we're going to cover mindset and sales techniques, and of course we're going to also put you guys on the phone and punish you and sharpen you up. So I think like new content, but more as it pertains to growth beyond the solopreneur. So this event used to be really targeted at the Kim Barrett of years gone by, who was making 6 figures plus, who wanted to get to $1 million, who didn't have the sales skills to get there. Or didn't know how to get paid larger amounts of money and have the ability to create, a sales approach that would close a $30,000, $40,000 or $100,000 sale in 90 minutes on the first call. And we'll still teach you that, of course. But where it is also adding value now is, how to get better results out of your team, how to structure your recruitment, how to structure your mentoring and grow beyond just being the solopreneur, to where Kim is now, where he's got, he's got a sales manager and he's got staff who are able to take over the functionality of the business, so that he's able to go and be more strategic and deal with the higher level problems in the business as the CEO, rather than being bogged down in the sales process. So those 3 days of the event, 17th, 18th, 19th of May in Melbourne, will be really targeted at giving you a more complete understanding of sales, giving you a more complete understanding of your issues and how you can get past them. But also, as the leader in your business, all sales is top down, and how to actually set a sales culture of excellence and have people wanting to be on the mission with you, and how to manage them to get great results so that you don't have to be doing it yourself. All of that tied up with the opportunity to actually make some money. So the record on day 3 is, I think, $1.3 million one guy made in Arizona. The Americans hold the current record for sales dominance. The Australians hold the current record for residential. But if you come into sales dominance, there's a lot to learn, whether it's, how to expand beyond your individual efforts, or it's how to perfect your individual efforts, or both. Very valuable for people who want to grow their business by multiple 6 figures in a world where things are getting tougher. This is all about getting better, and stepping up and having the ability to create security and confidence in your business, in your sales, and in your growth. So I guess that's what it's all about. If you're keen, we'd love to have you. Yeah.
I say, guys, it's definitely worth checking out. I've been to it. I've done it. All my team have been to it, have done it. And there's a reason why they continue to, any new people that I get come along, first port of call will be going to do something like this with Gulliver and Lily, because it's an epic experience. So can't recommend it highly enough. And now, Gulliver, there's always a question I like to ask at the end of every podcast as well, which is there anything which I haven't asked you yet that I should have?
Gosh, that's a tough one. What I ask me? I don't know, be selfish. Like, tell me what problem can I solve for you, Kim? Like, where are you at? Like, what can we do to give you better sales? Where is the biggest problem that your guys are having? What would they like to know? Like, are there questions that like in your mastermind, your clients listen to this on your database? Are there big obstacles they're grinding up against that that they really want the answers to? Have we asked all those questions on this call? Are there some particular problems that they're having that you could highlight that I could help answer for the crew out there?
I think one would be in the realm of sales recruitment. There's a lot of people go out and they end up with subpar people, whether it be because they don't have the systems to train them or the recruiting process. Where do you find is the worst place to find salespeople? Because obviously you have your own processes and methods, and people go out there and they chuck ads on Seek. They post in Facebook groups. Like, where do you find, in your opinion, what would be like the worst place, and then what would be the best place?
There's a couple of things here. One is the worst place is whoever you've got in front of you. So this is a mistake that we have made, and probably you have too, and everybody else I know who's fucked up their recruitment, in not just in sales, but any kind of recruitment, is, oh, such and such does that. Oh, they're here now, and I guess I could train them how to do it. Yeah, someone wants to work for me. I'm so flattered that someone wants to work for me, so I'm just going to hire them, right? Like, that's probably the worst place to find anyone, is whoever's lying around in front of you that you're trying to kind of shoehorn into doing sales. And you see this a lot. And it's not about a media where these people are hanging out, or a place that we're advertising for them so much as it is about we're trying to shoehorn people who are in front of us who want to work for us into doing sales, even though that may not be their mission. They're calling something they're any good at. And this is something you see a lot, like so often you'll go into really quite serious companies and it'll be like, all right, so who's in charge of sales? Oh, it's Debbie on the front desk. Okay, great. So what's her experience? Oh, she does a bit of admin and she prints off the brochures and stuff. And, sometimes we'll get her to make some calls to invite people to things. And sometimes we'll get her to do some prospecting. And it's like her role, his role, their role is like, this is like percentage of it is actually proper outbounding, and none of that's trained and there's no system. So this is a typical thing where you've got some administrative personality where you've kind of shoehorned them into doing a sales role that they fucking hate and resent probably and don't like. Yeah. That is such a classic, right? So where to find good people? I think, whether it's on, Seek or LinkedIn or wherever, it's not so much about the media, it's about the niche, right? So if you look at your approach to Facebook advertising, right, you will have a particular avatar that you've really, like Kim is 35 to 45. He has a $2 million business. He needs X, Y, and Z. I'm going to sell him A, B, and C. But to get him to opt in, I'm going to give him a piece of information that I know he's interested in to qualify that he's the right kind of person. It's going to have the right kind of copy to get him to put his name up and say, hey, I'm a multi-million-dollar mentor. I have these problems in my team. So you're very you do the work on that as a marketer, right? But no one does the work on that in their recruiting. People put up a job ad, which is like, hey, we have this job. We're going to pay this much money. They don't say, hey, are you this person? Do you have this experience? Do you have these skill sets? Have you met these requirements? Have you done these roles? I'm not looking for anyone that hasn't done this, and this. So if you're a loser that isn't prepared to do this, and this, don't fucking apply. But if you're a warrior and a badass, put down your details. Copy, marketing. So where do you put that? Well, where is the niche? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Craigslist? Are they what? I don't fucking know. But when you build out that niche, it will then tell you, oh, I know where this avatar is. I know where he's hanging out. I know where he goes to drink at night after work. I know which car he drives. I know where his kids go to school. I know exactly where he fucking is. I'm gonna prepare that marketing campaign. I'm gonna hit him here and here where I know he's congregating. So like if you look at it like that, like where the best place to find that salesperson is, if you've done the work on them, well, who they are, what their subject matter experience is, then it's like, well, of course they're here. Of course they're here. And more importantly, how are they using this particular media where I'm advertising? Is they're probably looking at it for this, and this, so I can now target them if they're interested in this, and this. So I feel like that it's literally what you do for a living, right? It's not about the media, it's how the user uses the media. Like if you put the ad in the newspaper, it has to be advertorial, so it appears like, well, why do people read newspapers? Because they want to be informed, right? If it's Facebook, why do people go on Facebook? To be distracted. Make it something interesting and distracting. People on LinkedIn, why people on LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's about like mastering the actual niche of who you want as your salesperson and the experiences that you want them to have had. Yeah. They might not even be, and this is the other thing, they might not even be a salesperson. Yeah, they might be someone who has a passion for XYZ and subject matter expertise in XYZ, who would love to earn $100,000 a year, but has no idea how to. And you then train that person using your sales system to be a really great salesperson because they deeply care about solving that problem because they've lived that experience. So something we've done with companies again and again is we'll go in and we'll be like, all right, well, who is this person that they have empathy with and understand the problems of the people we're going after? Yeah. So I've got a multi-million-dollar company I'm dealing with right now who is selling, coaching, but they want to sell coaching to people who are professionals, and they want to sell coaching to professionals who are trying to transition to coaching. So there's a lot of opportunity for them in people who have started to try in the last few years and failed to build a coaching business, who understand the problems with it. And if we're targeting someone like that in our recruitment, they're going to understand the pain that person's going through. Yeah. So this is an example. I could give you a million of them, but you're looking for, with the fabrics company we used to work with, you're looking for someone who's done some work in industrial textiles and fabrics, who has an understanding of the industry, who wants to actually communicate value to people, who cares about that. That's going to be a better salesperson as a semi-subject matter expert than anybody that you could hire who's a professional BD for $150,000 a year, who thinks they understand sales, but doesn't understand sales at your company. Which also means you hire this person for $60,000 plus bonuses and train them how to do it your way, rather than trying to hire someone who thinks they're good at it but has never sold for you and doesn't understand how you sell or what you sell. So like I can go on my rant about, overpaying puffed up business development representatives who are scared to pick up a phone, but we won't waste your time. I guess the point is the ones who are just sitting under your nose, anyone who's willing. Same sort of thing with marketing. If you take anyone who's willing, referral, word of mouth, anyone who wants to buy, you don't have a marketing plan, and you're going to get all kinds of inconsistency in the kind of customers you get, right? Same thing with sales. If you don't have a proper recruitment marketing plan, if you haven't really figured out who you're trying to appeal to and who you're trying to get and what your recruitment process is and how you're going to delineate who's able to do the job and who's not, you're wasting your money. And you will burn a fuck ton of money on shit people that aren't going to do a great job, and it will end in misery. So, I mean, that's probably one answer to that question. I get long-winded, but when it comes down to it, is just don't just hire whoever, have a fucking plan. Yeah? Yeah. Where are those people? They're everywhere. But if you don't have the right message, whether they're on Facebook or LinkedIn or whether they're at Seek, you're not going to have a great campaign. It's not going to get a great result.
Love that. That was a great answer. And if anyone wants to find out more about sales dominance, find out more about what you guys are up to, best place for them to go. We were chatting earlier, we're going to put together something where you guys might be able to give them a couple of cheeky cool things.
Yeah, I think what we should do is I'll give you a link to put in the descriptor for this when they're looking in the description, so they can just log in and get some cool stuff from me. And if you opt in for that, great. You want to learn more from us, whether you want to come to Sales Dominance or not. If you're curious about sales or sales mindset, go for it. If you're really mega super keen and you just want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. If you look me up, Gulliver Giles. There's not any other Gulliver Gileses out there, so hit me up and say, hey, I was listening to Kim's podcast, want to come to your thing. But yeah, happy to give you some free stuff just to learn more, particularly for what you're saying. You guys are really interested in sales and sales mindset, so I've got a whole bunch of stuff like that and give you some freebies to give to the crew. So you're very welcome to that, whether you want to come work with me in my event or not. Hope you get a great result from it. But if you're super mega keen, hit me up on socials and I'll jump on a call with you and make sure it's for you and make sure it's a good fit. Yeah.
Awesome. Love that. Mr. Gulliver, sir, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it, and I appreciate you jumping on and sharing some of your sales wisdom with everyone.
It's good fun, Kim. I'd do it again. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.